Alright, we're live.
We're live?
Yep.
We're live, Prez?
Yes.
Live on the internet? For episode 12. Episode 12. Episode 12. Yeah, right on. Pretty good signal.
All right,
It looks a little
how we
light in
doing?
your corner, though.
Huh?
It looks a little light in your corner.
You know what, Press? Turn on the overhead lights. That'll help.
I agree. I concur.
I'm texting the code. I'm texting him right now. I'm texting him right now.
Oh gosh. All right, Olivia, we're on the internet now, so I don't know if you want to be on the internet fighting, okay?
Yeah. Figure it out over there. Okay. Alright.
These kids are exhausted.
I know.
Oh, Press, do you mind giving me my phone? Oh, thank you.
I love it. That's what we hire him for.
I think I left my phone over there. Did I?
Over there?
Hold on.
We have a current
Your
leader.
phone of some sort.
What is that? I hear it.
Oh, it's in my pocket. Sorry. Thank you so much, Producer
Here, Dad,
Presley.
take
Where you go,
mine
producer
in
Presley?
case of emergency.
Yeah, I'm gonna need something. What is this? What's the password?
Don't say it on the air. We're on the air.
Whisper it in his ear. Sorry for our one viewer. We're getting it together.
We have
here.
a viewer?
Yeah, we have one
Woohoo!
watching. But yeah, we're getting it together here. So just
Sorry
give us
about
one
that.
moment, and we'll get started here.
Oh God, Max is he's just
What's
so
he doing?
gross.
Is he being
He was
gross?
sniffing Gabe's mask.
It's too. Did you throw it on the floor?
Yeah, I flicked it. It was gross.
It is gross. Yes, our liberal of the house is a double masker.
Double masker.
Can't have that.
It's so
Terrible.
crazy. All right, Carlos, we ready?
We're ready to go.
All right, so do the announcement.
Okay, you're ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? Here we go. Episode 12 of Make the Right Play. We got me, Carlos. We got the coach on my right. We got producer Prez behind the camera for our YouTube viewers, as always. And we're here. We're ready to go. We're off and running on our second show of the week. First time
Yeah.
we're doing 2 shows in the week. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great. We had to come on and do a show after that press
We
conference
did.
today.
We did. Biden
Oh.
coming out. First appearance on camera. First press conference. The headline on Twitter was first press conference during his presidency over 2 months since he's been inaugurated. Can you
If
believe
people
that?
didn't think he was a disaster before, you have to watch that press conference and
It was
realize.
terrible.
I mean,
did you watch any of it?
to be honest with you, I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And it was all staged.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was.
the
I
press
read it.
and the media is really complicit with covering for this guy.
Yeah.
It's just painfully obvious.
No, I agree with you. I ran it back. I watched a good amount, like just like couple snippets and listening to what he was saying, and we'll get into it what he was saying, but just you could tell he's just not all there mentally. Like he is just his mind is not in the right set to be the leader of the free world. Like
And
it's
it's
really bad.
clearly
It's
elder
really bad.
abuse,
It's
in my
clearly
opinion.
he's incapable of being a leader.
I mean, he's obviously a puppet. Somebody
Yeah.
else is running things. It's
Right.
obvious. I mean, the media is complicit with not having a real press conference. Fox News wasn't invited. So the one reporter who's tough on him, Peter Ducey, wasn't even there.
Yep.
I mean, it was just, it's a disgrace. It
It
really is such a disgrace for what this country stands for.
No, I agree with you. And it's, you watch it and he's talking about CNN that is now banned from CNN, but even the person on CNN said that it was Trump's plan that got the vaccine rolled out, but Biden, of course, wants to take credit for the vaccine rollout, and the vaccine was on him. And so anyway, that's all that he wanted to talk about. And, there's so many other issues like what's going on the southern border. And he said his answer to that today was, I'll handle it.
And he also said that he's not allowing media to go down there right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could you imagine if Trump had ever said, I'm not going to allow the media to see what's going on?
Are you
There
kidding
would have
me?
been a
It would be the whole
frenzy.
time. It would be like, what are you hiding?
Right.
What are you hiding?
Oh,
Donald?
there
What are
would
you
have
hiding?
been so much uproar.
Yeah.
And they just, I mean, obviously they're in on it. There are a lot of people working together.
Right.
And what's going on in this country right now is very scary.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. And, you know, watching that press conference today really was worrisome because, you know, you could totally tell that he couldn't form an answer on his own and that every answer that he gave,
Was
somebody
scripted.
else
It was
wrote it down
completely
for him.
scripted.
Somebody wrote the answers to all the questions. Like, and it was very clear that, you know, he could tell that he knew the questions that were coming.
Oh, I mean,
Like, it was-
he had the cue cards with the
Yeah.
names of the reporters that he would go and call out the reporter, and he knew exactly what they were going to ask.
Right.
He knew exactly how he was going to answer, and then he still had trouble answering.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably had to rehearse all day yesterday,
Oh, 100%.
and he still had trouble answering, and it was really. It's just so frustrating to watch because this is not the way the United States of America behaves. I feel like
Yeah.
this is, you know, what we used to learn about when we were kids about the USSR and how they had Pravda, and it was all propaganda. It wasn't real news. They didn't have
Yeah.
real investigative journalism. Everything was scripted, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now in our own country. And we're not going to be able to be a successful country if we have the media in on everything that's going on.
I 100% agree with you, and
That's
this
why
is
they
a-
got away with stealing the election.
Well, this is a classic example of media propaganda and how, you know, the media of the nation can control people's outlook on things. Because if you have, you know, people that, you know, aren't very intelligent that turn on the news to get their form of education, and, you know, they're hearing these scripted answers, they're hearing these scripted questions, that person's like, oh, well, it sounds like, you know, they know what they're doing. It sounds like they'll give some, you know, they'll have something go off in their head where they're like, yeah, they've got it under control, when really they don't. Really, they don't have it under control. Like, it's just...
You don't think that, you know, having a press conference like that doesn't make him look like a moron to the other world leaders?
Oh, to the other
You
world
don't think
leaders,
like the
no
other
doubt.
world leaders
No
are
doubt.
watching
No,
that and being
absolutely.
like, look at the United
Absolutely.
States, a bunch of bullshit artists.
Yeah.
Look at the United States, what a freaking joke. I can't
100%,
see anybody
100%.
watching that who isn't just blinded with their hatred for Trump and Republicans and saying, yeah, this is really what's best for the country. We got a great president here. I just can't see that.
No, they're not saying that. They're not saying that. Any of the other world leaders, all of the other world leaders are like, look at this embarrassment that they have up on that stage. I mean, we talked about it the last show with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. It was like, this guy's a disgrace. Like, he is a disgrace, and that we are, you know, we're offended that this is who you rolled out to the table.
Well, you know what else I find so disturbing about the media?
What's that?
You know that shooting in Colorado where they killed 10 people?
Yes.
You know, like when
yeah,
they
I
thought
wanna
it was
get
a
to
white
that.
supremacist,
Mhm.
they were just, it was all over. You couldn't get away from it. Like, you know, this horrible thing, we have to take away guns, we have to do this, we have to do that. And
Right.
the minute that it turns out that here we go again with the Muslims killing people in the country, really the terrorists, who, by the way, was a Biden supporter.
Yeah.
I'm saying it
Yeah.
right out there because obviously somebody who hates this country would support Biden
Because-
and not Trump.
Yeah.
So I notice how like the media is slowly but surely trying to get away from that story.
Right.
And the only thing they want to talk about now is how they need to enforce strict gun control in order to, and it's just like go after the law-abiding citizen once again.
Always. Well, did you see that Biden wants to push the Supreme Court to allow for police officers to come in and seize any weapon over a certain level, like over a certain level grade?
Listen,
That-
I thought they wanted to defund the police. So
Well,
now they're
now-
going to have the police
now
go
they're
after
gonna have to give
law-abiding
police
citizens
money to
who
go
had
to have the
permits.
resources to go
No,
after everybody.
let me put it to you this way.
Oh, Max.
You know, I'm sorry to say, but the saying where it's like guns don't kill people, people kill people,
That's the
it's
truth.
the truth.
Yeah,
People kill
that's
people.
the truth.
You know, and I mean, what are we supposed to do? Have like little handguns And then the government, that's what they did in Cambodia.
Right.
In order to take over the whole country, the first thing they had to do was take people's guns away.
Mm-hmm.
They would not have been able to take over everything. They did it in Nazi Germany too. In order to take over Nazi Germany, they had to take everybody's guns away first. Like, people don't realize, if you really learn your history, it's very dangerous to just take away people's rights to defend themselves. And I'm sorry, but if the people who could actually hurt you have those weapons, you need to be able to battle back.
Yeah.
And I know that they always say, oh, nobody needs this, nobody needs that. Well, that's what's out there now. And if you're a law-abiding person, you have a right to have the gun.
Especially, you know, the Democrats with the whole defund the police. It's like, now you need a gun
Everybody
more than ever.
we're having more guns.
You need a gun more than ever. If you're going to get rid of the police, somebody's got to defend yourself.
Let me tell you, I never, ever in my life, ever planned on buying a gun. It just wasn't something that I was concerned about. But after last year, when they were like, defund the police, I was like, I have to go get a gun permit, and I need to learn how to use a firearm, because God forbid there's an emergency and there's a police shortage and I'm calling 911 and the cops can't come. I'm not going to have a choice but to try to protect myself.
Right.
And this is a thought that never went through my mind up until I started seeing what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there are hundreds of thousands of other Americans who felt exactly the same way.
No, I 100% agree. A lot of people felt that way. Like, I know that I've talked to people that are older and that are adults that they were like, yeah, you know, now is the time to go purchase. Well, I know, you know, Lauren's father said, like, you need a gun now, especially if they're going to get rid of police, and especially if you live in an area that is susceptible, right? That's the right thing? Susceptible to violence and to uprisings. You should have a firearm to protect yourself. Like that, it's important.
And if you're a person who lives in the middle of nowhere and the closest cop is going to take them 15, 20 minutes to go get you, you need to have a weapon.
I love those videos of where they have like a pretend intruder come in and he's like, oh, well, I better call that social worker so he can come over here and talk to you about it.
Please. I know some social workers. They ain't going to do shit.
I know.
All right? I know a couple of social workers, and let me put it to you this way. You would not be wanting to call them if you have somebody in a crack-induced rage who's going crazy, beating up someone, acting nuts. These social workers are not the people that you're going to want to call to protect you. That it's not going to happen. And when people are on drugs, they act crazy. Didn't you ever see the Dave Chappelle skit? Like where he was, you know, he's doing stand-up comedy and he's laughing about how he had to get a rifle because some guy was on drugs, but then it turns out to be methamphetamine. And like the guy jumps back up again.
What was that Dave Chappelle skit that you had us watch that I was cracking up laughing? Me and Rivera talk about it all the time. It was the Dave Chappelle skit where he was with
the stand-up or
no, it was like
the show.
The show from his show.
Is it Charlie Murphy?
I don't know.
It's Charlie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's brother was that
no,
Rick
it was,
James? When he's like, I'm Rick James.
Oh God, no! What was it? It was that guy that said that Dave Chappelle wasn't really black or something like that.
Wayne Brady.
Yes.
Wayne Brady. When Dave Chappelle's like, Wayne Brady's not really a black
guy.
And
they did that whole skit, and they go and they
Wayne
shoot
Brady,
up
he has to keep his pimp hand strong, and Wayne Brady.
That was one of the funniest skits I've ever watched, and we watched it all the time at school because we would just crack up laughing. Where he pulls up on that guy, goes, "Oh shit, it's Wayne Brady," or something like that. He mows them all down. It was so funny. That was probably one of the funniest skits I've ever watched. Dave Chappelle's show was really funny.
It was hilarious. But then you know what happened?
What happened?
He went crazy.
Well, what was that? Remember that stand-up that came out a couple years ago? Dave Chappelle stand-up.
Dave Chappelle said something, and immediately it's what popped into my head.
Right.
But he didn't like the way that the people were treating him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what happens to a lot of these stars, similar to what's happening to Britney Spears, is yes you start to make a lot of money.
Are you free Britney?
Of course I'm free Britney.
Yeah.
I watched that thing and I was like, let me tell you, you're of capacity enough to go out there and perform
Mhm.
6-7 nights a week and do all this shit, but then you're not smart enough how to spend your money. If you're the one working, doing all the work, that's your money.
Yeah.
How dare her father think like, you know, Brittany, you're a total mental patient. You're not smart enough, but go work for me. Essentially, and she's supporting the whole family.
Right.
Supporting the whole family, and that's what they did to Elvis too.
Yeah.
They did the same thing to Elvis. They ran that guy into the ground, killed him.
They did run Elvis into the ground. You could tell as his career continued, you just see the deterioration.
Well,
of it.
they had like even documentaries where he would want to take a break, and the father's like, listen, you can't take a break. You know how many people are depending on you?
Yeah.
I imagine that kind of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Dave Chappelle was under a lot of pressure too, and he didn't like the way that people were treating him, and he was just like, I'm out of here. And he used his freedom.
Was really good though.
I love Dave Chappelle. I think he's
that
so
stand-up
funny.
skit that he did on Netflix.
Yeah,
They
the
took
one
it
that
down,
we
though.
watched.
It's gone.
It's gone.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't we were saying that they took it down? That Dave Chappelle skit, producer Press behind the camera.
Well, the stand-up.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
stand-up
sure.
comedy
Let
that
me
they
look
did.
it up right now.
I swear, I thought they took it down because remember he did that whole bit with the LGBT
LGBTQ?
movement,
Yeah.
and he was saying how the gays don't like lesbians and the lesbians don't like gay, and but then
That's what you
they all don't
wore.
like the transgender people. They had that whole
Yeah.
that whole skit, and I remember like
I think it's
the cancel culture got like pissed about that. Like they
Really?
were fired up, and they had a whole fit.
I think it's still here. Is it Sticks and Stones?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it came
a couple
out
years ago.
2019. Was it 2019?
Because there's Chappelle's show, Sticks and Stones, and then there is. I think this is the stand-up. The Bird Revelation.
No, that's not it.
that's not it.
You know, one of my favorite skits too was the Rick James, and then they had Rick James.
Yeah.
So they would do the skits, the reenactments of Charlie Murphy's
Really?
stories of
Yeah.
partying in the 80s, and then Rick James would just be like, "Cocaine's a powerful drug."
Yeah.
Like, that's all I would say.
It's the Sticks and Stones one. It's
Sticks
still
and
up.
Stones. But it's still on Netflix?
Yeah, from
Wow.
2019,
Yeah,
right?
that was it.
Yeah.
Remember, we had to watch it. We
We
went up
watched
for the
it,
college
we
weekend.
watched it up.
We were laughing so much.
That was so fun.
That was it's just I know artists used to be like the commentators of things that are going on,
Yeah.
and so many of them now too were just so afraid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what happened to Britney Spears is awful.
Yeah.
What's happening right now with all these stars just being a bunch of bullshit artists? It's just
They
awful.
are.
The
A lot
media's a
them
bunch
are
of
a
bullshit
bunch
artists.
Yeah.
It's really bad what's going
And
on right
it's
now.
a real shame too because I find it very frustrating because a lot of young people, like young kids, teenagers, young people look up to these stars a lot.
Yeah,
like
they
they
always
follow
have.
what they do. They
They
look
always
up to
have.
them. And when if they're in on it too, where they're feeding you that bullshit, it's just like, oh, it's such a killer to the young generation because then they're gonna come up in that, that blind eye, where
Yeah,
they're not
but you
gonna
know
really
what?
know what's going on.
There comes a point where there's some people who we are eternal children who
Yeah.
just never grow up. And that's why I believe in welfare, because I do believe that there are some people who are not capable of taking care of themselves. Like
Yeah.
I've seen it. And I am for helping out our fellow man. Like we're a
Right.
country, like we're good enough that we can help out our fellow
Now,
man.
what do you think of the people that say that you should have to be screened for drug use and stuff to get the welfare?
Listen, the way that I look at it is that they're going to probably do drugs. Or, I don't know, it's just I've seen people that I've grown up with that I know they're not capable of taking care of themselves. So do you want them to live in the gutter? Or, can we provide some housing? Can we do some things that keep us a humane society and we're taking care of our people?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of those people have children, and I don't want to see their kids in the gutter. And I don't want their babies not to be able to get milk and get the things that they need. So I am the type of person that understands that our society does need to help certain people. You know? Should they be able to have iPhones and Netflix and all this other shit? I don't know about that. But I do think that we should be able to provide a roof and provide certain things in order to give people a decent quality of life.
Right.
But the problem is that a lot of times they piss in the elevator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They piss in the elevator. and they don't take care of where they live because they didn't work hard.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's just so many like ethical issues that go on.
Right.
But I forgot how I even got onto the whole point of this.
Well, we were talking about a lot of different things. But you said that you believed in welfare because, you know, there are people that actually do need the help.
They
It's
do
not,
need
it's
the
not a
help.
handout.
You know, like,
So-
I mean, as a society, we do have to go and do that. But this is a public service announcement. Don't party too much because I just
Well,
lost
speaking
my own train
about
of
speaking
thought.
about partying too much, Coach, you were just initiated into the Elks group.
Yes, I was.
How does it feel?
It was fantastic.
The Elks group is quite the party scene.
Well, I have to say one funny story about the Elks, right?
Yeah. So,
So I get
share the stories of the initiation of the
Well,
Elks.
we're going in and like we're going to
the
a
viewers
room.
need to know.
And you know, I can't give away all the details, but before the whole ceremony
Why is
starts,
it private?
yes, it is.
It's
It's
a private.
private.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like secrecy, like
Well,
CIA.
they don't say it's secrecy, but it's, you know, go become a member if you want to know if they'll have you.
I may have to.
The number one most important thing, though, in order to be an elk, you have to believe in God.
Right.
If you do not believe in God,
Okay.
you cannot be an elk.
That's good.
So that is the number one thing. And their values are justice, truth, fidelity. I mean, you know, being charitable. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic organization. So I went in and the ceremony, like before the initiation ceremony,
Yep.
I said, listen, I don't want to be drunk during the ceremony. I said, so I'll have a glass of water. And the bartender looks at me, it's like, you realize you're joining the Elks, right? You have to have a drink. And I was like, oh, okay.
She's like, do you know where you are?
Yeah. So, I mean, they do like to party.
Oh yeah.
And the music was great. And, you know, like after the ceremony, they had music and, you know, the jukebox or whatever. But I have to say, I think they're great people. And I'm very proud to be an elk now. I'm an elk.
So
I
you
know.
and the Proud Girls, as I like to call them. So you guys are Elks,
Yes.
right?
Yes, the Proud
And
Girls.
you're selling. You're doing a flowers fundraiser.
Yes, we're going to be selling flowers on Good Friday for the Elks.
So
So
is it at
please
the Elks
stop
Club?
by. It's at the Elks Club.
Okay, so
Which
yes,
I've
viewers,
gone
go get
before
some.
and bought flowers from them. Like you'll see Easter, and I've gone into the Elks and bought the flowers.
Oh, have you?
So I think that it would be
You
nice.
should have been an elk long ago.
I don't know
what you were
took me
doing.
so long. I don't know what
Just,
took. Years ago,
you were
David
slacking.
Denver was like, you need to join the Elks.
Yeah.
You know, but this was, I think he was an elk in Westbrook. And I remember Dad's like, give me a break.
Well, what was Eddie's dad, the judge?
Yeah.
The judge.
Yeah, we
Oh.
saw him. That was
For
exciting.
those of you guys that don't know, Eddie Levitt is one of the guys that I used to play hockey with. His dad's the best.
He is. I love the judge.
Great guy. That we call him
Just
the
such
judge.
a good man.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was
He's
there. It's
partying
amazing
it out
how
at
many
the
people
Elks.
are actually out.
From West Haven, so
Yeah.
that's a little bit of a hike.
Well, they
How
have an
bad's the
Elks
West
Club
Haven
in West
Club?
Haven.
They don't?
They do.
No, they do. I know.
Yeah, they do have an Elks.
Why's it coming to our house?
Well, you're invited to go to any Elks Club you want. Maybe you wanted to change your scenery.
Mm.
You know, they said they have an Elks Club in Hawaii that's kick-ass. That is just
I
incredible.
know. We're gonna have
And
to
Elks
go
in Puerto
and check it
Rico.
out.
There's an Elks
So
Club
I
in
can
Puerto
join
Rico.
now, right?
Yeah, you're
Because
21.
I'm
You can
21,
join.
so I can join.
Yeah. I think you and all your friends should join.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Get all the boys there. At
I'm
the,
telling
at
you,
the
it's
Elks
such
Club.
a great club. It
We'd
really
get
is such a
kicked
great
out.
club.
We'd blow it.
And I think you need to get more young people because it's all such good values.
Right.
And people do need to give back to the community.
Mhm.
You know, we don't want to become a selfish society.
No,
we
I
really
agree.
have to be a society where people volunteer. Like, that's one thing that would drive me crazy. You know, it's always the same people.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, it's always the same people.
Well, you
volunteering for
talk a
everything.
lot about you talk about that a lot when in regards to like PTA stuff.
Yeah.
And like even like youth sports.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the same parents that are
Same
always
parents.
volunteering.
It's always
All
the
the
same.
time.
It's always the same people who are volunteering.
Right.
You see
Yeah.
the same dads always volunteering with the sports. You see the same moms at, you know, the PTA or like if let's say it's wrestling or football, running concessions. It's always the same parents.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, many hands make light work. And I feel like everybody, but I also feel that people are intimidated to join. Because
Really?
that was one of the things yesterday when, you know, I was telling my friends, I was like, oh, I volunteered for the flower sale. Let's do it. We'll have fun. And they said, see, I want to do stuff, but I get intimidated. And
why would you say that they'd get intimidated?
one of them said that they
No,
get
I
intimidated.
understand that they said that, but
It's
I don't
the same
understand
thing
like
with
what.
the PTA. It's the same thing
But
with
it's
the
volunteer.
Well, you know
volunteer
what the
work.
problem is that people are assholes too.
Yeah, that's
So-
what I think it is. I
A
think
lot
it's
of-
people are pricks
Yeah.
and would rather sit on the couch and watch TV.
No,
than
no,
go
I'm
out.
not saying that. I'm
No,
saying
I'm
that
saying that.
sometimes the people who run the organization are assholes.
Oh,
So
no,
they
I'm
don't
saying
have-
some people are pricks. They just don't want to volunteer.
Well, yes, you have those people too, but you also have the people where they run things and it's a volunteer. There's people not getting paid.
Yeah.
So you have to have a certain mannerism in order to make them feel welcome, to feel appreciated. And a lot of these people, it's like they try to make it their own little club
Yep.
and they don't want to be inclusive. So they'll say, oh, I really wish more people would help, but then they do everything they can to turn people off so that they can be in charge of everything.
Yes.
And that's a big problem too. So that's why when I was the head of the PTA at Sliny,
It was your
I worked
mission.
so hard getting so many different families involved.
You did get quite a few.
I got so many new
volunteers when
parents.
we were-
And I would find out
I
like what
volunteered.
people's strengths were, and I would encourage them to
Yeah.
use their strengths. I mean, I really did such a great job of volunteers. I'm sure now.
Good
There's
pat
probably-
good pat on the back there. Go.
Oh, I am.
Pat yourself on the back right there.
Well, I did do a good job. Nobody else is gonna tell me if I don't, compliment myself or sing my own praises. Who will? I'm gonna be confident. I know I did a good job. But the people who I'm sure now that are kind of probably running things aren't includers.
Yep.
So I'm sure now they're doing everything.
Right.
And a lot of the parents are probably like, you know what, screw this. I don't need to be involved anymore. And that's what happens. People are like, well, I don't want to help.
Yeah.
These people are pricks. They're not nice. So that's one of the things that I noticed about volunteering.
No, I agree with you. You're right. I mean, I have to say that you could see. One thing I've noticed is that you could see the change in an organization when there's somebody that wants to be accepting to everybody and have new people come in and new people help and I agree. I think that there's some organizations that love those regular people, those same people doing
Yeah.
the same thing over and over again. Like I noticed the same thing when Dad took over Little League. When he started running Little League differently than the way that they used to run it when I was playing Little League, you could totally tell the whole vibe of Little League changed when he brought in Dennis Nardella to do the music.
Yeah.
Opening day got exciting. Everybody was excited to go to opening
Yeah.
day again. You had multiple people working the concession stand. I mean, obviously we had one problem with the concession stand, but we don't need to talk about
Let's
that.
not even go
But,
into
I mean,
that.
So you had new people working the concession stand. You could tell the vibe coming back to the baseball field was fun.
It was
People
fun.
enjoyed going back to the baseball field. And I would say the same thing with PTA. I mean, the fall fun day, right? Is that what it's called?
I had
people
so many
enjoyed-
dads volunteering.
Yeah,
And
people
usually-
enjoyed doing that.
Usually fathers feel so like that's the woman
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
And I would always try to encourage dads to help. Like, dads, we need you too. Dads, we need help. And I
Yeah.
got a lot of dad volunteers.
No,
And it
you
was
did.
great.
Yeah,
And then
it was a great event.
when we did the fall festival, people would
It's
leave.
the fall festival, right?
Remember,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, I think you were away at school.
No, yeah.
It was like
I
9
wasn't there,
o'clock,
but
9:30. We're breaking everything down, and the people are still there, partying in the playground.
Hanging out.
And then finally, we're like, listen, we have to shut the lights. Like,
Yeah.
it's over. It's like almost 10 o'clock. Like, all these parents had such a great time.
Well,
They just
that's
did
what
not
it's
want to
about.
leave. But that's exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
Because we were very inclusionary.
Even with your dances, like when you were doing those
Oh,
dances.
the someone special
the someone
dance.
special dance, yeah.
Fantastic. And
That
then
was another
I
great
almost
event.
dropped dead the next day, the
You
following
did,
couple
well,
of
that's
days.
because,
That's when I think I had COVID
You had
the first
COVID.
time.
and
Before
it
it was.
infected the middle school. You just dropped that.
I know. I infected everybody at Sliny. Everybody should thank me because they probably had COVID once, didn't
Yeah.
really even know about it, and now if they get COVID again, they're like asymptomatic because
Yeah, so now on
it was
live
easy
air,
peasy.
right on the air, you admitted to infecting a bunch of little kids at the summer
Oh
special
please,
dance.
those kids were partying it out. They had a
I
great
know.
time.
It's alright. They're
Well,
just like
you
the
know
spring
what's so
breakers
funny?
in Miami.
Today, not today, the other day, I'm going on Facebook, and you always have those people who they love to talk about the positivity rate,
Oh, I
why they
know.
opening the
They did that-
schools,
they
the
did that
positivity
stuff on
rate is
the,
so high.
On the group page, on the Indianek page, I saw that lady was like, "Oh, the positivity rate."
So finally, I couldn't take
Right.
it when it was with the kids. So
Right.
I wrote right in there. I said, you know what the good news is about all these numbers getting higher? Is that we noticed the hospitals aren't overcrowding.
Yes.
So maybe this is a sign that we're learning to live with the virus. So how about taking it as a good note? Oh, you know what the good news is? Our positivity rate's so high, but the hospitals aren't overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So we probably don't need to shut things down.
Yeah.
We can live with COVID now. It's
No, I
safe
agree.
to just live with COVID. But you know what? No responses.
Yeah.
No responses. Because that's not what they want to hear.
Exactly.
The whole point of shutting everything down was to flatten the curve because, everybody was going to go drop dead in the hospital if we didn't flatten the curve. Now the positivity rate's high, and guess what? The hospitals are not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
That means
People
we can
are
survive
living
COVID.
with it. We can
Right.
do it. It's
You
a
know?
survivable virus.
Right. Time to open everything up again.
But
Look
you
at
can't
it that
say
way.
that. You can't say that though.
I
because
said
then
it.
people like flip
I
out.
said it right on
No,
that
I
Facebook
know. You
page.
said it, and I would say it, and producer Prez would say it, and people with common sense would say it, but other people out there are so afraid to speak up. That's why I'm glad that we do the show, because I want this show to be an example almost, especially for younger people and for Republicans alike, because I do feel that there are Republican people out there, or people that don't agree with Fauci, or don't agree with the nurses, when the nurses were all cussing us out and everywhere, saying that we're all so selfish, that we don't want to stay at home and make their lives easier, because we have to make sure that their lives are super easy. But
Well, did you hear what Nancy Pelosi said?
What did Nancy say?
So somebody asked her, they go, what are you going to do to thank all the healthcare workers? Nancy
here we go.
Pelosi says, we thank them by letting them keep their jobs because
Wow.
everybody else was stuck at home, and there are a lot of people who don't have a job right now. So that's how we thank them,
She's
that they
okay.
still have their job.
I gotta say,
And I was
good
like,
for
the media,
her.
but that,
Good for her, though.
she came right
Good
out. She
for
was like, we
her.
thank them by letting them keep their jobs.
I will say, I'll high five Nancy to
She
that
must have
shit.
been drinking.
Yeah,
because
she must have had a
she
couple
actually
drinks.
said what she probably thinks, because those people are above everyone.
Yeah.
They're above everyone. They're the ruling class. But can you believe that's what she said? Did you see? So today I get a letter from
Okay.
Bradford Public Schools.
You got a letter.
Everybody got this letter.
Okay,
You
so
ready for this
everybody
one?
at Brantford Public Schools got this letter.
The teachers are
Yep.
getting their second vaccine on April 8th.
So did all the teachers get the vaccine at the same time? Like, did the school come in
I
and
guess.
administer
Like
the
they
vaccine
so
to
the
them
kids
all?
have to have a half day
Okay.
because while they're at the school, they're going to vaccine them in the school.
Okay.
So
alright,
all the
so I got
teachers
it
are
now.
getting
That makes sense.
vaccinated.
Okay.
And they're shutting the schools down on April 9th so that the teachers can recover
Really?
from getting the vaccine. Can you believe
So
that,
they
Jen?
need a day
Did
off?
every healthcare worker get a day off after they got vaccinated? How many people got vaccinated and had to go to work the
The
next day?
teachers need an entire day off to recover from getting a shot.
From getting the vaccine. So now the last day of school is now June 18th, so that the teachers have a day
Wow.
to recover. I was
That's
like, man, it
unbelievable.
must be great to be part of a union and just
That's
be able to
exactly
push
what
people
that is.
around
That's
and
exactly
just.
what that is. That's unbelievable. You don't see, like you said, you don't
The
see the
healthcare
healthcare
workers
workers weren't bitching it out, saying that they needed a day off. You know who else was bitching it out? You don't see the private sector saying that they need a day off. You don't see the Wall Street shutting down for a day. Yet the
Well,
markets
they
are
had to
like, we're
reopen
closed. We're closed on Friday, sorry, because we all need to get the vaccine, so we're closed. Imagine that. Imagine the whole
The New York
world.
Stock
The whole
Exchange, all
world,
these
the New York
things.
Stock Exchange,
Everybody
everybody's
shut down.
everybody's money took a day off. It was like, hold on, we're gonna time out. We're gonna take a day off because I got a shot in my arm. Can
Yeah.
you believe that shit? The teachers union, they have had so much power from this COVID thing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, they have controlled, I would say that they have controlled more than the healthcare workers. They have more power than them.
Oh, they totally
Because
have more power
they
than the healthcare
control,
workers.
what they're gonna learn in school. Not only that, but then it's like, oh, I don't feel like going to work. Class is virtual today. I don't feel like going to work. I'm gonna walk my dog at 10 o'clock in the morning.
How about when they even show the teachers giving a lesson, they'll be driving their car.
Yeah, all the
They even
time.
showed that. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, I had a professor teach a class working out.
No.
Yeah, he was working out, teaching the class in his
my
gym.
Gosh, that's
Not
really
like in a
bad.
public gym, but
Yeah.
like one of, I guess, because a lot of people have those in-home gyms
Yeah.
now. But yeah, he was working out while he was doing the class. He was like, "This is your assignment. This is the reading for the week. This is what you're gonna be reading. Give me a summary of what it was,
Oh
and
my gosh.
we'll see you next
It's
class."
just unbelievable. So
Like,
now
that's
June
what it
18th
is.
is the last day of school.
Yeah,
I think mine's June 4th.
that's unbelievable.
Oh, good for you, Prez.
right now.
Well, you'll need the earlier summer because you'll be starting early.
Yeah, we didn't have a spring break this year, so we're done April 26th.
April 26th.
April 26th,
That's my
we're
brother's
done.
birthday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we're going. Speaking of your brother, we got his save the date. Have you heard anything about the save the date?
Well, he called me and told me to save the date.
Right.
He called me. He
How's
said
that?
save the date, so I saved it.
And
Because we're all
where's
going to be
that?
going to
That's,
Detroit.
so
Detroit.
exciting.
Yeah, we're all going to Detroit.
Mm.
So save the date.
I know. I gotta save the date. Seriously, I gotta mark it down.
I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
It is gonna be a lot.
It's
of
been.
fun.
I remember there was a time in my life I had a wedding every weekend practically. At least once a month there was a wedding.
I'm looking forward to that time. I'm ready.
You're 21.
Lawrence,
Yeah, I was
Lauren
about-
and I were saying that we were excited for what
Weddings are so
everybody
much
gets to go to
fun.
Weddings all the
I
time
love a
and
good
stuff like
wedding.
that.
You know, but
your
then
20s. That's
yeah,
you know,
that's
a lot,
when it
that's
happens.
when a lot of time happens.
Well, now with the older generation, they do it in the 30s.
I know, and a lot of people
A
are
lot
like,
of
oh
millennials.
yeah, stay, get married in your 30s or 40s. It's like,
I remember when they
that's
tried
not
to
bad.
say 50 was the new 30. I'm 47. I don't believe that
You're
50
not- you don't
no,
feel like
there's
30? You
no
don't feel
freaking
30?
way. No way. I just do not have the energy I used to have.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like when I was young, I could work all day, taking care of your kids, clean the whole house, make sure everybody's fed, bathed, ready to go, and then work all night. Like
Yeah.
I did my book. I was
Mhm.
37.
That's right. You're a published author.
Yeah.
We never talked about that on the show.
Well,
So, little flashback for those that don't know us, that watch the show or listen to the show. Lisan Villa is a published author. Angel on Top of the Tree. Look it up on Google. It's there. Angel on Top of the Tree. Great
It's a
book
great book.
about our tree topper that's in the house. I mean, you could probably give a better summary. What's your book about? Give us a little summary.
well,
just talk about it.
the
Little-
one thing
little
that
plus.
I feel is that Christmas is the one time of year that you find yourself in the same spot,
Yep.
right? You're in front of your Christmas tree.
Yeah.
So I wrote a story because one day I'm looking at the angel on top of the tree and I'm saying, I wonder if the angel, because I have a really great imagination sometimes. So,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I wonder if the angel looks and says, oh my gosh, I can't believe how the baby, where's the baby? Oh my gosh, that little boy is getting so big. And,
Right.
just sees the changes because, she gets wrapped up, goes back in the attic, and then she comes out the following year. And then it was also kind of a metaphor for my dad.
Right.
Because that was, it was hard when my dad passed away. Oh my gosh, I don't want to start crying on the show.
But
I
it's
missed
okay.
him.
It's okay. But yeah,
I
we get
missed
it.
him, and it was just like that was when Christmas was different.
Right.
So like the angel, I use the metaphor like with my pooch, Marks, because Marks passed away, and I know that the angel and Marks probably used to have fun when I used to go to work.
Yeah.
Like they'd be hanging out. So I don't know. It just
It was a great book.
I wanted to do something that showed, the spirit of Christmas,
Yeah.
but not about it being about presents, but being about the memories that you're making.
Yeah.
That's when I wanted to write a Christmas story about memories rather than having a Christmas story about, just
And that was
stuff.
excellent.
So thank you.
That was fantastic. It was really great. I wish we were able to print more. And
I
do
do
more with
plan on
it.
printing more. Like,
Yeah?
once, it's just, I was taking off with the book and I was
Yeah.
planning on printing more and stuff, but then life changes.
Yeah.
Your father was working for Radiant and he got laid off, but now he's doing
yeah,
very
because
well
of
with his new
Obamacare
business.
And everything like
Oh,
that.
let's not
was a
even
killer.
get started, please. And then the financial crisis, thanks to that asshole Cuomo,
Yeah.
because he's the one who changed all those rules with HUD. He
Right.
was the one who softened the rules for getting a mortgage when he worked for the Clinton administration. He was the head of
Yeah.
house. Oh God, I just hate Governor Cuomo. I really do. I
You're a
really
New
do.
Yorker
And
too,
he's
so
still
it's like
surviving.
I know. He'll never
Did you
go.
hear the
Well,
latest scandal?
What's the latest scandal? That he made that girl eat that sausage, that media? Did you see that one?
No.
Oh my God! There was he was at a dinner, so I saw this video, and he was at a dinner, and they were all eating at this table, and there was a couple of female reporters that were there, and he gets a sausage, an Italian sausage, and he goes, "I bet you can't eat this in one bite."
He did not.
And it's a video. Mel was the one who put it on Facebook.
Oh my gosh, I have to find that video.
And he makes this girl eat the sausage on video. And
What
it
a
was like,
sick
it was
bastard.
unbelievable. And Mel had this whole caption about like, how old were you when you learned sexual innuendos or something like that? It was like there's some crazy caption, but that was what it was. It was hilarious. It was really funny. This guy can do whatever he wants, man. Talk about untouchable. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Well, the new scandal.
What's the newest one?
Is that apparently he had state troopers driving around like the head of the State Department of Health to give his family private COVID tests when COVID first started. So
Really?
like they
At the house?
At the house.
Wow.
Imagine, like it's not like, all right,
No,
let me
I
see if
can
I
see
can
that.
get you in at the CVS.
Yeah.
It was, don't worry, I'm going to send the head of the Department of Health with a state trooper, drive him down to your house, Chris, in the Hamptons, right? Go visit Mama, go visit my sister, and I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's
That's abuse of
against,
power.
it totally is.
Yeah, but that's Cuomo. That's a
Cuomo is
Democrat.
just,
And
I'm
speaking
like,
of another
and
governor,
what other governor?
Lamont, how today yesterday he was saying how he was not going to give up his emergency powers.
And the Democrats are more than happy to let him have executive
He's
powers.
consistently having meetings, in-house meetings, for those of you that live in Connecticut. The governor is continuously having in-house meetings with just Democrat leaders and Democrat House representatives in the state of Connecticut, and he refuses to talk to any Republicans. He's pulling a Biden. Biden hasn't talked to one single Republican. Mitch
He doesn't
McConnell
have to.
has called his, not that I like Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell's an asshole, but that's aside of the point. Mitch McConnell has called him multiple times since he's taken office, and he has not taken one of his calls. He has ignored every message. He has not spoken to one Republican since being the president. And now Lamont is not speaking to one Republican as governor because he refuses to give up his emergency powers. And now we have a whole problem with that.
Unbelievable. That's
It is
unbelievable. So hold on 1 second. Scott, are the potatoes, are they ready to get moved around? Did the timer go off? Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank
Are
you.
they done?
No, not yet. They just needed to be moved around.
We
That's
have
why
a
I
live
set the
cooking
timer.
update right in the show.
More.
Probably like another 20 minutes. No, I'm
So-
sorry, because we're doing dinner.
Yes, during the show.
Unfortunately,
And
Chef
we don't-
Gabe is
yeah,
not
Chef
making dinner
Gabe-
tonight.
Chef Gabe is
but
not
Chef Scott's
on
filling
the,
in.
yeah, Chef Scott's stepping in. Well, I wouldn't even give him that.
Well, I mean, he is stirring the potatoes.
Well, tell the viewers what you made today.
Pot roast.
Yes. Pot
Like
roast
the
is
snowflake
delicious.
thing.
You know what it is?
Fantastic.
I went to. I have a masseuse who's incredible.
Oh, yes. The great one.
She is a healer.
She's a Jedi.
She is just amazing.
Yep.
She is just phenomenal. So she was just taking her. She was like, "You have so many knots." She really gave
Yeah.
me such a good rub down. I felt great as I ran. I got a pot roast right after.
You were feeling it.
Yeah,
You were like, let's
I was
go,
like-
baby.
I have
Let's
energy
cook.
again. Woohoo!
Yeah.
I felt so good. But for some reason, I'm freezing, and it's actually warm out. Do you think it's maybe
Yeah, it's like
because the heat?
65 degrees outside.
I
Yeah.
was
Warm.
cold today too.
I'm cold.
I walked
today.
outside. I was like, I'm freezing.
I hope Olivia's all right because she was complaining about her stomach hurting,
Oh, Guan.
and we sent her to
We
bed.
got the COVID.
No, we don't have COVID. I just took a COVID
no
test
COVID.
because
No
God
COVID.
willing, I'm going on vacation.
COVID's crap.
So I wanted to
already
make
had it.
sure.
We already had COVID.
Yeah, we already did the COVID thing. But I wanted to make sure that I was testing negative. So
Yeah.
before I go on my trip.
Speaking of which, not about your trip, but I just was thinking about this, and then we got on another rant. But I wanted to tell you. So you were talking about Marks.
Yeah.
Guess who I saw today?
Who?
Just walking around. I took the dogs for a midday walk. It was like a 45-minute walk on the Shoreline Green Trail. And guess who's walking? Jesus Christ. No, not literally Jesus Christ, but Raymond, who was our
Saint Ray.
neighbor.
Saint Ray.
And he looked like Jesus Christ. I was like, Jesus? And guess what he was doing?
What?
Saving a dog.
No way.
Yeah. There he was, running with a dog in his arms, bringing a dog back to the owner.
You gotta be
Right on the
kidding
trail. And I was like, Christ? Like, he was barefoot and everything. Like, and he was like running with this dog. So it was crazy. So I'm
Oh my
walking the dogs
gosh.
on the trail. And there was a ton of people out today. Like, the town is packed today because just, it's sunny.
The
so
minute it's a nice
everybody's
day,
like, let's get out of the
everybody's
house.
out, yeah.
So everybody's out of the house, and I'm walking the dogs on the trail. Beautiful trail we have right in the neighborhood.
It's Shoreline Green Trail.
Perfect place
So
for a
I'm
family.
walking the dogs on the trail, and this guy is probably world's worst dog owner, completely oblivious to his dog. Like he's got the leash around his chest, like it's
What? Who
like he
does
looks
that?
like he's carrying like a sword, but like it's like like the cross satchel.
Yeah, I know exactly
So
what you mean.
he's got a cross satchel. The dog is maybe a half a mile behind him, and he's got 2 AirPods in. He's looking down at his phone. Complete douche, right? So
He should not be a dog owner.
he should.
I hope he doesn't have kids someday.
When I saw Jesus Christ pick up the dog, I thought that Jesus was taking the dog to heaven. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, what the hell? Like Christ is coming down, picking up the dog and leaving. Like I was like, what is going on? And so I'm like, and Hotshot was sniffing like everything on the trail, so I'm letting him do
Hotshot
his
is
thing.
a brat on that trail.
And then I see Raymond pick up the dog, and I didn't know what to really do because I was like, is this guy stealing this dog? Like, I was like, I think this guy's stealing the dog.
Raymond's
but
like, you don't deserve this dog.
But I didn't
I'm
really-
gonna take
I
this
didn't
dog.
I
and
would
take
trust
care.
Ray more than
Ray is a great dog
No,
owner.
he is,
loves
he is.
his pets.
they.
But I didn't know it was Raymond at the time because he was literally like no shoes, shorts, but like black shorts. It was like weird. So, but so it was like I thought it was Christ when I saw it, but he had the hood on, like he had like a cloak on. So like I was like, what the hell? Like I really thought, like I was like, is Christ? I was like, and I was looking at the dogs. I was like, you guys see him too? Like, am I tripping out right now? But Ray picks up the dog, and starts walking back to, I guess, the owner.
Mhm.
And then he's like, is this your dog? Is this your dog? And then the guy's like, oh yes, like this is my dog. He's like, do you have a leash? And the guy goes, oh yeah, I have a leash, but like I guess it's like an older gentleman dog. He was like, but like he's really trained and usually stays right on my hip. I didn't realize like he's getting slower and blah blah blah. And Raymond's like, you really need to keep your dog on a leash because there's a lot of wild animals in this area, and I don't want anything to happen to your dog while you're walking your dog. Ray, he was really nice.
And the dog let Ray just pick him up.
Yeah, the
so
dog
that
was
goes to show what a good
100%.
person Ray is.
So when I realized
So
it was
the dog
Raymond, I
got
was
his
like, I was like, saving another dog because he used to save Marks all the time.
Marks, he once saved Gabriel. Dad was washing the car, and then all of a sudden, Ray brought Gabriel back home. I'm not kidding you. And I was like, Scott, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he was like, oh, I was washing the car. Gabriel's like 2 years old, just leaves.
Yep, just walks down the driveway.
Yeah, and I think Presley was a baby.
Yeah.
So I was in the house with Presley. All of a sudden, the door, and he goes, you're missing one of your children. It's Raymond. And he was a young kid at the time.
Yeah.
I said, what are you talking about? I said, he was with my husband. He was like, he was at the bottom walking the roads. Gabe. So Ray has saved Marks, has saved Gabriel, and now today he's saving this
saving
dog.
another dog. I was like,
Well,
I was like, he's saving another dog.
He must have seen that dog before, because on the post I put on the Indianac page, he was like, I worry for all those owners who don't put a leash on their dogs and walk in that area.
Yeah.
He wrote that?
Yeah.
I have to tell you,
It's so the worst when people
I
have
have
a
been
leash.
calling Ray, Saint Ray, since he was a little kid.
Yeah.
Because of how many times he would rescue animals. And
Yeah.
he's such a great kid.
I swear,
well,
I
he's
was
a man
like,
now.
Christ. I was like, oh my God.
Well, for a dog to just,
Yeah.
like, I know our dogs would never let a stranger pick them up.
Well,
Especially...
I think Nibs would if it was
I
a
don't
gentle
know.
person.
Yeah, I don't know if he would let them pick
Hot
up.
Shot would be barking. Hot Shot would
No,
definitely
because when we were on the trail today, Hotshot went up to a lot of people for pets.
Really?
Yeah, like he was a very social dog. He likes to go up and talk to people. And
Yeah, he loves to do that, but I don't know if he would let them
I don't
pick
know if
him
he
up.
let-
Max always like barks. You know what's weird about Max too? I was watched when we were walking the dogs is Max doesn't bark until I'm pulling him away. So look, he likes to make it look like I'm holding Max back. Like I'm holding him back. If he got loose, he was gonna kick your ass, right? Like he likes to design it so that he looks like I'm gonna fuck you up. And then, but in reality, if I'm like, oh, you want to go say hi, then Max is like,
He
oh my
is.
God.
He's
That's
such a
he
puss.
always
Like
does
Max,
that.
like backs the F out.
Yeah, he really is such a little puss.
It's so funny.
That's the
But-
only time he jumps. It's
Yeah.
like if somebody comes in the house and they go to pet him, I once saw him jump out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Or
To get
I've seen him
away.
jump on the couch. He refuses
Yeah.
to jump on the couch normally.
Yeah, he came over
But
here.
running. Well, I saw him. You know who he hates is Matt.
Yeah.
So Matt always comes over, and Matt every day is like, I'm gonna figure out a way to get Max to let me pet him,
Never.
and it'll never happen. But all the time, it's so funny. He comes over. He's like, He's like, oh hi Max, like how are you? And Max is like running away, sprinting, and then Nibs will come right over for the belly. I'll show the belly
Hot Shot is so
for a couple
cute.
pets.
Well, he's been very depressed though, ever since Presley went back to school full time.
Yeah.
Like it's obvious how sad he is. I feel bad for him. It's not easy. He threw up all over Presley's bed. Got Presley brand new sheets.
Yep.
His bed looked great.
and they were like, I slept once in them since we washed them too.
You've only slept once in your bed.
No, I slept in them, and then we like
I
mom
just
washed them.
the other day.
Okay.
So and then like I slept, and then
And
yesterday.
yeah, so he's enjoying these fresh, clean sheets, and the dog just barfed all over his bed. He's such a pain in the ass
He
sometimes.
is. Look at him. Look, now he's sleeping like nothing.
Yeah, now that we're
no
talking
issue.
about him, he's like,
He's like, I'm gonna sleep right on your show. Make sure everybody know that I'm here. Because he got jealous because Max has been sleeping over here.
Mhm.
So Max is on the pillow over here, and Hotshot's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I gotta get on the show.
he's just so
Producer
cute.
Prez, I didn't realize we had all these comments
From
our,
Bill?
our number one viewer, Bill Benny.
Woohoo!
Bill Benny's got like 6 comments. I didn't know, but Prez is on there being like loving these comments. You
Yeah.
think you fucking let us know? Be like, oh
Because
yeah.
by the time I
You
see
have
them, it's
comments,
already past
you know.
the point. Even though my favorite one was, LOL, coach calling the cops. Don't they come without her calling?
Oh God! Nice
my
one,
goodness.
Bill. Nice one.
Yes. Yeah, that
It's
is
true.
you.
They
That
do
is
come
you.
without
They
me
always
calling.
come. They always come asking.
Yeah,
me
we've
to-
had quite a few visits.
Oh man.
Oy.
But Bill said that he's never been so embarrassed watching the press conference today from Biden. Never
It's
been so
awful.
embarrassed to be
Yeah.
American.
You know, because Trump made a lot of people feel proud to be an American.
Right.
And now you have Joe Biden. You know, it just makes me so sick. Just
I agree.
sick to my stomach.
I 100% agree with you. It's really unfortunate, because, and it's really unfortunate how they painted Trump to be such a villain, because really all he wanted to do was just make Americans feel proud.
Yeah.
Again,
He
there's
wanted
so
all
many-
Americans to be successful. It's not like he was just like,
They-
oh, we're going to have these protected classes of people successful and everybody else is going to be in
Right.
the gutter.
And they painted him to be like this evil villain, and it's like, guys,
Listen,
like,
Biden's
that's
a villain
bullshit.
because so far Biden's been president, 2 months?
Yep.
You have a border crisis.
Yep.
You have those kids packed into those cages so
Yeah, you
so
know,
tight
again,
that I
kids in
saw a
cra-
picture.
Kids in cages.
Project Veritas posted a picture
Yeah.
because they had a secret person because
Oh,
they're
you
good.
said that to me after the show.
I thought it was chicken at first.
Right.
It looked like a tray of chicken because like they have on those aluminum, like like those blankets that they give the runners after the marathon.
Yep.
It's like aluminum foil like sheets.
Yes.
So all these kids must have been freezing because they all had like the aluminum like really wrapped around them.
Yep.
And I thought it was like chicken dinners. Like I thought it was trays of food that they were planning on. And I'm looking and I said, oh my gosh, those are human beings. And
It's
they're all on the
unbelievable.
floor.
When you sent that to me, I thought that they were all dead, or I thought like there was
Yeah.
because I was like, those kids look like they're dead.
It
it was
was
like- I
a
thought that they were
horrifying
all dead.
picture. Horrifying picture. So you have that huge border crisis, right? You have gas prices. They've gone up at least 50 cents
$3
in the
a
last
gallon
in the
now.
last 2 months.
$3.
50 cents. I mean, and everybody will say they're bullshit, but we all, if you have a brain, you know
You
that
know.
government policies have
You
a
know.
direct impact.
Right.
So then the guy hasn't even done a State of the Union address.
None. Yep.
I mean, he should have done something. And you have the media so corrupt. You have $1.9 trillion being spent on God only knows what, and now he's planning on spending another $3 trillion.
Yeah.
So, inflation, anyone? Has anybody ever heard the word inflation? I'm
Yeah.
terrified of what this guy's going to do over the next 4 years.
I'm really worried about it too. I was telling you this morning, it's like you really have to be scared about what the country is going to look like in the coming years, because everybody keeps saying, oh, we'll see in 2024, like we'll have Trump try to run again, or we'll try to figure out something, but you don't even know what it's going to look like in 2024. The way that it's going, he could come up with some crazy thing, even though I still believe that he will be out of office by June. And
yeah, but Kamala is
no, I'm saying
trash.
Kamala's 1,000 times worse than Joe is. And I'm saying because you don't know what the country's going to look like. You don't know what position that we could be in, that he could come up with some crazy, or she or whoever could come up with some crazy idea to keep them in office, and say, oh, we need to enact emergency powers, I can't leave office because we could be at war. He has pissed off every major leader in the world in 2 months. China hates him, Putin hates him, ISIS is back. We just had 10 people killed in Colorado.
Jong-un.
ISIS is like, well, we're back. You fucked up. Here we are. We're back. Like, we're going to kill all of you because you guys are an embarrassment that you had a real leader and now you got rid of him. So now we have to kill you all because you really are such an embarrassment.
There's some people on the terrorist list of being caught at the border.
Yeah.
Like the real people on the terrorist list.
Because there's
are
nobody
caught at
there
the
watching.
border.
There's not one person there to watch who is coming across and who's coming into the country. And if somebody does grab them and pick them up or they come across the border, they're free to let go. ICE is letting them go into the country. Mm-hmm. And it's not all just, Mexicans. Like, get that out of your head. It's not a bunch of Hispanics. It's not.
They're a lot of bad people.
It's Central Americans who are in the cartels that are bringing their drug stuff into the country, because the war on drugs is not over. It's not. I know that, Oregon and California and Nevada, all those states want to say, let's legalize everything, because I know that that's the end goal.
All the heroin comes from Afghanistan through Mexico.
Yes.
So,
and guess who's bringing that over? ISIS is bringing that over, because that's their ticket in. Because you know that those cartels, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but you know that those cartels have those backdoor deals to let those people into the country to deliver the drugs. And ISIS has infiltrated that. Al-Qaeda has infiltrated that. Probably the Taliban has infiltrated that. There are a lot of enemies in this world that hate the United States that are hell-bent on getting in. And when you have a president that is saying, come across, we will make it as easy as possible for you to walk across into the border, and then you have a group of people that are so insane in the head that they think that it's good to allow these people to come into the border. It's crazy. Like, you can't understand the psychology of these people, because they would rather see a bunch of people get killed because they can figure out a way to rewrite it to fit their agenda, like taking away all the guns. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, we'll let terrorists come in and kill everybody, because then we can say, look at that, there's a prime example on why we need gun control.
Well, they don't have to follow the law.
It's unbelievable.
They don't have to follow the law. They can break all our immigration laws. Congress didn't change the laws.
Yeah.
Those laws are still on the books. Why aren't we following the laws? Why are we not following the laws? Why? Because there's something sinister going on. And people think that it's for the votes. I don't know if it's for the votes, or I don't know if they're trying to collapse our economy. Because there is no way, with all the unemployed people right now, that we should be allowing in a lot of illegal immigrants.
No,
This is not the time.
We need to take care of the American people first. But that was another thing that the Democrats hated about Trump. Yeah. That Trump was like, let's take care of our people first before we bail out everybody else, because every world deal that we're in, we're footing the bill.
Listen, he also was like, Costa Rica, you got to figure it out. Guatemala, you got to figure it out. I'll give you aid if you figure out a way to have your countries being run better. And what I find so interesting too, you look at a lot of these people crossing the border, a lot of them have cell phones.
Yeah.
A lot of them are kind of overweight too. Look, I'm not judging anybody who's overweight because I'm chubs myself. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that I don't think you're starving to death in Guatemala if you're that chubby. Like, obviously, like if these people were starving, but they're not.
Because you know what it is too, Ma, is that a lot of those people that are coming in are not the starving people. Like I said, they're the
They're
cartel
smart
people.
enough to
They're
know.
the rich people that are bringing the drugs in.
Well, plus they're smart enough to know that there's something going on that they're going to get a sweet deal, like free hotel room, or I
know.
just.
Well, you get to stay in 4-star hotels. I was telling Dad, you know, we were laughing because I was saying, they were talking about you know, so you guys are going on vacation to Aruba, and there's a lot of travel restrictions coming back into the country. I said, fuck that. Fly into Mexico and walk across. I was like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, because you don't get
bullshit.
tested if you come across
It's
the
like
border
walk across
illegally.
Yeah.
the border. Fuck that.
Yeah, they're
What
not
are they?
gonna
They're not
test
going to
me.
stop you and turn you around. They're going to let you in. Walk
Especially
across the
since
border,
your kids are
kidnap
here.
a couple kids too while you're at it. Take a couple kids and push them across, and then you'll be good. You'll be all set.
I can't have any more kids. I'm
That's
so
what'll
tired.
happen.
I'm
You
exhausted.
just gotta take a couple of kids that are standing there. I think they actually hold signs where you can like just grab them and walk and use them as a pawn to get in.
You know what I would love to find somewhere is
What's
an
that?
Oompa Loompa. Could I find an Oompa?
I know you.
Like Willy
you
Wonka
have
and the
to.
Chocolate Factory. I
I
would
know.
just
Where's
love
that?
to
Where's
have
that land?
Oompas.
What's it called? What
I
is
don't
it
know,
called
like
where
it was
you
in the
travel to that?
rainforest.
I know.
There was some place in the
What
South
was it
American
called? Producer
rainforest.
Prez, get us a name on that. What was that place
The
called where
land
you
that you
travel?
went. Yeah.
Where it does the
The cocoa beans. They work for the
beans,
cocoa
yeah.
bean. Man, I really could use an Oompa. I'm exhausted.
Loompa Lands.
Loompa land. So maybe I'll bring an Oompa, pretend it's a child.
Maybe
they're
it's
tiny.
owned by Aruba. Maybe you can figure out how to find it.
But
See
if I
it's
could bring
owned
home
by
an Oompa, that I might actually do.
Yeah,
So we'll cut across Mexico, we'll grab an Oompa.
I know. And then we'll walk around the house and just see him walking around.
Or, I'll just give him chocolate milk and stuff, the cocoa
Yeah,
bean.
for the cocoa bean. Give him that Nesquik, the cocoa powder. Just
Yeah.
He'll just be eating out of that the whole day.
Man, I was telling your father, because I've been cleaning for years, since I'm a child.
Right.
I've always been cleaning.
Yeah.
So today I go out cleaning the bathroom, and I swear the Tilex is starting to kill me. Like my chest burns like hell every time I clean my bathroom now. And I'm just like, I think I'm gonna have to hire somebody to help me clean the house. I don't know if I can do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, you were saying that.
So I could use an Oompa.
I'm pretty interested to see what happens with. You were saying how the Tilex and some of the chemicals in those cleaning products could have some severe damage to your body from inhaling
Yeah.
all the fumes.
I mean, and I've been cleaning this house at least for 20 years. Then you go back to the apartment on 88th Street. I
Yeah.
clean there. Then, as a child, my mom was no joke. My
Yeah.
sister and I had to clean that house.
Yeah.
So,
So you've been cleaning forever, yeah.
yeah, since
But I'm interested. You're gonna see it all the time on on those networks where it's like if you were cleaning your house,
Tilex.
yeah,
if you were a user of Tilex, you could find, and I will definitely be in that lawsuit.
yeah,
let
that's
me tell
right.
you,
File up
because-
for some severe compensation or heavily compensations.
But I tell you, that's why I was so glad that I went to go see my healer afterwards.
Yeah.
Because, I was really sick. Like, my
Yeah.
chest was burning.
Well, let me tell you, those massage therapy, it's the real deal. A lot of
It
people,
is.
I feel like, don't really think of massage therapy a lot because I remember when I was in school and I was getting massages even when I was younger and I would tell people, I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting a massage. People were like, that's so weird or whatever. But I was like, I've always been into it. I think it's so great. You feel so wonderful after, and you really feel so much better. I think it's really great, and I think more people should do it.
Olivia loves her massages. We go to the nail place. They actually gave her a gift certificate for a massage.
Oh, for the little back massage on the thing.
Yeah, so so she goes, Mom, when can I go to Massage Henry? or Elements
Or
Massage,
Elements
but yeah.
Massage,
She
yeah.
goes, when am I going to be able to
When
go?
can I go
said,
see Lisa?
Maybe I will send her there. I
No,
feel bad.
She's
She
not
didn't.
ready. She's not ready.
Well, you were going at 11. How old were you for your first massage? You were in the 3rd grade.
No, I think I was in the 4th or the 5th grade.
Yeah, you were young. I remember when I took you, and then you went outside and threw up all over.
Well, that was one time.
That was when he was sick.
It was so funny because I was in so much pain, and then you sent all of us, the 3 brothers, you sent us
Well,
all to our room.
Presley was at a. Oh, okay.
No, we got in trouble. The 3 of us did something, and you got so mad at us. You were like, everybody go to their room. And I was in so much pain, and you weren't having it because you were mad. And then you came into my room, and I was laying on the floor, and you were like, all right, let's go get a massage. And I went and got a massage, and I walked out of the massage parlor, just threw up everywhere. But I felt so refreshed after. I felt great. I was like,
You were
all right,
mad.
let's go. Like, I feel so much better. I don't know. I guess I was just in so much pain. Like, I had so much whatever in my body that it helped. Like, it really does. It really does help get, like, your blood flowing, and you feel so much better. It really does help so much. I will always recommend massages because they really make you feel so much better.
All right, we have some more comments from Bill.
Oh, here we go.
So Bill was.
Thank you, Press.
Bill said the best thing is if the Republicans were voted back in 2 years, and then we take back the presidency. So we'll take back
That's
the
what
Congress
we're
and then the
praying for, yeah.
presidency.
You can only hope.
And then Bill Benny also said Oompa Loompas aren't politically correct.
I know, we could get canceled for that.
Well, probably Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is going to get canceled for him.
I wonder
It
if
probably
that's-
already
maybe that's why
was.
they don't make the Wonka bars anymore because
Maybe.
you know they had some.
I still want an
to.
Oompa though.
Yeah, well, maybe they come through the southern border. Maybe if you gotta go down there and just sit at the border and watch them walk across.
And Mom
then
would
be like,
just
oh,
be
there
like-
it is, there it is, grab it, grab it.
Well, wasn't it something like?
Yeah, it was something crazy like that.
I know, they'll just be like, Mom will probably, they'll be like, I don't want to go in that country.
I'll just turn them off.
Yeah, and then one of them will be like, and Mom will be like, I got
You're coming with me, baby.
That's it. That's the one. It's like picking out a dog. That one. I want that one. And just grab it.
Oh my gosh, how funny would that be?
Well, we really do. It's like, imagine if we had an Oompa. We'd have like the whole cast with Olivia being Veruca. Mommy, I want to squirrel. That's literally Olivia.
That is Olivia.
Mommy, I want a little white puppy.
And then
That she doesn't even take care of.
That she
It's so
doesn't take
funny
care of.
because somebody messaged me on Facebook today. They go, "You got another dog?" And I said, "Well, that's Olivia's dog." But really, Presley's the foster parent of the dog.
Yeah.
And he
It's-
said when he
it's
leaves the
Presley's
house,
dog,
he's
I
suing
would
for
say.
custody.
It's Presley's dog.
once I get that apartment, it'll be like,
Presley's already told Olivia. He's like, "I am suing for custody."
and I have all my friends as witnesses, all the calls that I take on walks.
The whole neighborhood could come and testify.
Yeah, Bill, I'll have Bill testify.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's seen you enough of times walking that dog.
We'll have Ray come as an expert
Yeah.
dog-loving witness.
Max,
And
what do you
as
think?
our expert dog-loving witness, we have Ray. Ray, would you testify?
Christ?
Yeah.
And coming down from heaven today, Jesus Christ.
That is
What do you
so
think?
crazy.
It really looked like Christ. I was like, oh my
With
God.
the hood and everything, I
It's
know.
like-
I could imagine.
Here we go.
And barefoot.
Barefoot.
What is up with that?
Barefoot. That's why
How
I
did
was
he
like,
get there? Because there's all stones. Like, ouch,
he walked.
ouch,
He walked right on.
ouch.
Christ.
Like those, because before you go in there, it's gravel. It's not asphalt.
No, I know. Well, it's funny because he met someone there.
Uh-huh.
Like I guess like him and his friend were like doing like a walk.
Right.
But yeah, it was very barefoot, and he had this long cloak on, and it was like a handmade cloak. Like it wasn't like a cloak that you bought from somewhere. Like it looked like it was, made at home. And I was like,
Did you
Jesus.
notice on one of the trees there's like a stick hanging, and then tied to another stick hanging.
"Where's
That's
that?"
tied on the Shoreline Greenway Trail.
I didn't notice that.
I was talking to my healer today about it, and I was like, my son and I were like, "Is that witchcraft?" And she goes,
You
"I
think
don't
we
like
got
that."
some witches on the trail.
Perhaps.
There's a ton of witches in
Well,
the
they have that
Northeast.
stupid freaking thing there.
Well, the
What is that
labyrinth is
thing?
supposed to be so like you can just, even though it's so small, like labyrinths is supposed to be bigger.
What's that thing, Prez, with the rocks?
The
Labyrinth.
labyrinth.
That's what it is?
So you
Yes.
walk it, and like the universe, like what is it, like cleanses you or something?
I don't know.
That's
I've done it a
stupid.
couple times, and the dogs always cheat.
Say yes to the universe. I saw that.
But you
with the
do
quote.
have to say yes to the universe.
With the quote, yeah, Bill something's quote. Not
Well,
the-
I
I know.
I walk the labyrinth when I'm like on a call in the Greenway Trail. I'm just like, I'll just walk the
the
labyrinth.
dogs never walk it.
They
never-
always,
they're always
cheat.
on
I
the
always
labyrinth.
yell at Hotshot. I'm like, you can't cheat.
Max peed on it today.
He pissed on the labyrinth.
He did.
No respect, that dog.
He doesn't.
He
Max
has no
thoughts.
respect at all.
Well, Max doesn't like the universe because he feels like he
Max
didn't
is
get a
sleepy.
good draw.
He's so fresh.
He didn't have any thoughts. He had nothing to say.
Well, let me ask you, do you think Cuomo's still going to be
Well,
in office
technically
next week.
this isn't another week, so we won't count it. But next week we'll have.
So next week we have to have a Cuomo update.
We do. We do have to have a Cuomo update. He'll still be there. That
We'll
guy's
see
not
if
going
Biden's
anywhere.
still president
come
next
on.
week.
He's not going anywhere.
It's like Weekend at Bernie's with that guy, with Joe
Yeah.
Biden. It really is
Joe
just
Biden.
terrifying. It's Weekend at Bernie's. They're just like propping him up.
At least he got on the TV today. First press conference as president. Can you believe that? What? How many days has it been?
Too
It's
many.
been 66
Yeah.
days.
Too many
66.
days. Well, you know what? A lot of the seniors voted. They don't care. They're going to be dead soon.
Today's 65.
They
It's the
voted for
25th.
Biden. They don't care about the future of this country. They're so
Yeah, they don't.
selfish,
They don't
those
give a
baby
shit.
boomers. A lot of them, they always just cared about themselves.
Yeah.
We had to shut down the whole country for them.
Yeah.
For boomers.
Yeah, the boomers.
No
But it's
boomers.
unbelievable.
Okay, boomers.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
were
like the
made into a
millennials either.
meme.
The millennials suck.
Generation X is the best. That's my generation. We're the best.
Generation X and Gen Z.
And Gen Z is the next best generation because you guys aren't a bunch of wimps, but maybe you are. I don't know. The jury's still out.
Well, it's
Well,
we're an
I
interesting.
honestly, I can't really say anything.
Yeah, we're an interesting generation.
I
Because
could-
Carlos
I
is
could
like,
name-
you're right. There are a lot of
I
wimps.
can name a couple people that would fit the wimp category.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's
there's a lot. I mean, for Christ's sake, we can't even pick our gender. So holy shit.
Well,
I mean,
I
we
have
had- we
bad
had- I
news
had
for them.
people in my
Your
high school-
gender's it's predetermined in the womb. You come out and you're one way or the other.
Right,
Sorry.
but then you have people like walking around with a tail and like multiple colored hair, and you're
Oh,
just like,
gosh.
oh my
Let's
god.
not even get into
Like,
it.
are you kidding me?
So we're looking forward to next week.
We are. So, yeah, just to reiterate, we are doing 2 shows a week now. So, Mondays and Thursdays, for those of you people that watch, and we appreciate you guys watching. And then also, we are on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify Podcasts. This episode will be available tonight for you to listen whenever. But, yeah, so we're doing 2 shows a week now. We want to get more word out. We want to be more current about everything that's going on. It's tough to fit it in all 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to definitely be more current. And we got a lot of listeners, on our last episode through Apple. So that's
Awesome.
good. We're expanding.
And I'd like to just say happy birthday to Ali.
Yes.
Tomorrow's her birthday.
Yes,
so
Ali.
Happy
oh,
birthday,
happy
Ali.
birthday!
Happy birthday. It's very exciting.
Yes.
It's very exciting. All right, Coach, any final thoughts? Anything you want to say?
Nope, just happy birthday to Ali, and I
Yes.
hope everybody has a great weekend.
Yes,
Enjoy
all right,
the nice
guys.
weather. It's
So we
supposed
will
to be
see
nice
you
out there.
Monday. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Make sure you guys go listen on Apple. And please share. If you think people will like it, share it out. So, yeah, all right.